Hey, it's Lips here with another Hearthstone deck. This time we're going to do something a little bit more meta relevant since there was a balancing patch, and we are going to be covering Murloc Shaman, which was a deck that I actually had in the works anyways, and given the recent nerfs, this is just one of the better decks after those changes. The basic idea behind the deck is to try to overwhelm your opponent with a bunch of really cheap Murlocs while also buffing them up through cards like Cold Light Seer, Nofin Can Stop Us, and Snapdragon. The inclusion in Snapdragon is basically because most of the Murlocs in this version of the deck are actually Battlecry minions, so you can actually get buffs on them pretty easily, thus allowing you to almost replicate what you can do in Murloc Warlock, but in Shaman that has way better support anyways. So for the Mulligan guide of the deck, you are looking for cards like Murloc Tidecaller, Lush Water Scout, Clownfish, Cookie the Cook, or Snapdragon to keep in your opening hand. Tideless Burrower is also a really good card to keep in your opening hand, though it does cost a little bit more, so you might not want to keep this if you do have a lot of high cost minions in your hand, but because most of this deck is low cost cards, you should be able to keep most of it without worrying too much when it comes to a Mulligan guide. With that all being said, let's look at some games. Alright, time for a game against Priest. Actually, not a really bad opening hand at all. Going to get rid of the... Actually, nothing here. Keeping War Leader actually makes a lot of sense, just because we do have so many ways to actually have cheap Murlocs. And they're priests, so it's not like they're going to have a lot of single target removal. I mean, they can, but most people don't run that much. They're Questline priests, which isn't that big of a shock. Another deck that I really want to revisit here in the future. I just need to figure out when. And there's another priest deck that I really want to try out before then anyways. Okay, so we can put down either the scout or the one that does 2 damage. I can't remember its name right now. Just going to go for the 2 damage and then go for 2 more damage. Okay, they're going to put down the scorpion. Guess it's technically not a scorpion, but whatever. We can put down the clownfish if we really feel like it. Or we could coin out the other thing that we just drew into. Oh, I guess we don't even have to coin it out. We could just play it down. Going to kill that with that and then pass the turn back. Hopefully they don't have something to do 3 damage to our entire board. But you never know. That's not 3 damage to our entire board, but that is annoying. There's a second Tidecaller. Just going to put down the War Leader to put down a bunch of damage. Probably should have put down the Tidecaller side too, but I don't want to overextend because this deck does have a little bit of a problem with overextending and not having a backup plan. Okay, so they are going to be able to kill most of our minions here. Luckily, they can't kill the War Leader, which is the one that's most important. Okay, so we draw into 3 more Murlocs here. Pyromancer is interesting. I don't know if it does anything for us right now. If we can get these Murlocs to stick on the board, the Seer could actually make them a little bit more tanky. But you never know. And they don't really get to stick. I guess the one attack does, though. Okay, so what do we want to do next turn? Okay, we can draw into 3 more. Might as well draw into 3 more, see what we can get. Tide Loss is nice. The second Seer is alright. I was kind of hoping for the second Clownfish just to discount them all, but oh well. Okay, so there's the Clownfish, but how do we want to do this is the true question. We can put down the Clownfish. We can put down Burgle. Down the Burr, it won't trigger both, sadly. Grabbing Cookie, coining out the Seer, do some extra damage. I wish the animation of that was a little bit cooler. Whirlpool is not something I expected, though it is Questline Priest, which makes that a little bit frustrating, especially because that gets rid of most of our hand too. Okay, we're just going to attack. Put down the Rush. Just going to overextend, I guess, a little bit. What are the chances that they have 2 Whirlpools instead of 1? I actually kind of want to do something with Whirlpool that might be a little bit more gimmicky, but maybe I just won't do it. The idea would be to run a deck full of minions that a lot of people actually run, just so you can nuke them from their own deck. But then you'd have to have some type of backup plan, and I don't know what you would do then. Okay, there's the War Leader. Well, we can put down the Scout and put everything down. I'll kill that. Then we can just go face. Just hope they don't have any type of other removal. Probably should have hero power too. Bloodlust would be the absolute perfect top deck here though. Okay, so that they silenced our board, which is a little bit frustrating, but it is what it is. And there's the perfect top deck. Let's go, Bloodlust. Just gonna hit that with her face. And we can do this, and then just go face and win the game. Alright, time for a game against Druid. This opening hand actually isn't that bad. Keeping everything here wouldn't be that big of a mistake. Though the War Leader, I don't know. I'm always wary about keeping War Leader if I don't have a way to make it actually survive. Well, I guess we just pass the turn back. Okay, so I guess we can just stick down our one minion as well. I'm doubting that they have any type of removal because that does look like aggro Druid, which might be a fun thing to actually visit given the recent support and since a bunch of the competition is out. Okay, War Leader. Clownfish is good here. We can get rid of one minion so we don't have to worry about them getting rid of any of our minions here. I mean, they get rid of the Clownfish, but that's fine. Okay, a Ram Commander. Going to coin something out. Oh, they're just going to draw a bunch of cards. I'm fine with them doing that. Okay, we can use the Burr here. See what we can get. The Scout is actually probably pretty good because that means we can buff up our Murlocs even more. Then we can play this just to get more out on the board. Then let's attack with the Burr. And then attack there and then just go face. Okay, we're going to put that back down, buff it up a little bit more, then we can just go face, get rid of most of their board, and we're still in a really good position. This is definitely a game that's an example of me not being able to turn off the control brain and just embrace aggro, go face. Okay, Forager is pretty good, because that means we can actually get rid of both of their minions here for free. Then we can just go face. And might as well heal our power because we have 2 mana. And taunt, which is perfect here. Okay, they're going to play a bunch of minions. Doesn't really matter too much if we can actually just live. Trying to think of what would the perfect top... That's a really funny top deck if we had another Murloc to actually play in combination with it, but oh well. I guess we can just play it to play it. Just go face, and then we're probably going to actually attack with Murgle into... Oh, alright, time for a game against Demon Hunter. Mulligan away everything here. They don't really do anything by themselves. That's the reason why we're doing it. This opening hand is a lot better than it was before. Twin Fin I would have liked to have in the deck, but it is what it is. The other two are pretty decent though. Clownfish allows us to put down Tidecaller on the following turn, which I guess you always would be able to do. But if we draw into another Murloc, that buffs up all the Murlocs on the board. We should be in a really good position. Okay, so we drew into the Lushwater Scout, which is actually pretty good for a turn 2 play. Though they are Demon Hunters, so if we do play it, it's probably going to instantly die. We might actually just want to keep it in our opening hand as long as we still have the Clownfish, so we can put down that plus the bird next turn. But we're just going to put down the Scout, hope they don't have anything here. Okay, they're going to coin out 3 damage, which makes a lot of sense. I kind of wish they didn't do that, but there was always a risk by doing that play. We could actually just put down the Snapdragon here, just to buff everything up. And that is the perfect top deck. Not for right now, but for next turn, because we can actually, I think, play all 3 of our Murlocs in our hand. Actually, maybe not. Twin Fin might not be able to be played, but this is still a really good position to be in, especially against Demon Hunter. They don't really run too many board clears. Hey, I'm actually really happy that people are using that Murloc again. One of my favorite Demon Hunter decks that I ever put out was the Murloc Demon Hunter deck. Going to get some buffs there. Then we can buff that up a little bit more, and then play this, and then we're in a super good position for next turn. Okay, they're going to use multi-strike, which might be able to get rid of a few of our Murlocs, but it shouldn't be able to get rid of them all. Okay, so they are going to be able to kill 2, but we should be able to just back them up, unless they don't attack into it. I'm glad that they got rid of the taunt, though. Probably shouldn't have done that if I was them, but whatever. There's the War Leader. I'm going to draw 3 cards here to see what we get. Not bad. The Seer is actually pretty decent. Just going to kill their minion, then go face. Depending on what they actually have, we should be able to finish them off next turn. Oh, maybe not. Well, that's a cool top deck. We can kill that minion. And then, attack, I guess. Then we can use our hero power and then put down Cookie. We got the taunt, which is exactly what I wanted to see. Okay, so they'll be able to kill 2 of our minions, but we should still be fine. We have a bunch of Murlocs in hand. We're probably going to use no Fin plus the Twin Fin. I think that should get us pretty close to lethal, if not lethal. If we had 1 more mana, though, we could definitely get lethal next turn. Well, we can put down the Scout and the Twin Fin. Buffs up that a little bit more, and then we buff up there. And then we just go face. Behold, the might of the Murlocs. Well, that won't do enough. And they're just going to take themselves out. Alright, now that we're through the games, let's discuss my final thoughts of the deck overall. So this deck is actually pretty good, especially given the fact that a lot of its competition got nerfed, and it seems to be one of the better aggro-based decks that you could run right now. So across the 22 games that I actually played with the deck had a 50% win rate, which was actually pretty good, and is a good deck overall after the recent changes. Though it does have a little bit of an issue recovering from losing a bunch of minions after a few board wipes, but because you do have ways to actually buff up the minions, you shouldn't really have to worry about the game going long anyways. Other than that, I could easily recommend this deck for you, especially if you're looking for something new to actually play after the changes. And like always, if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, bye bye.